good, everybody? It's your boy Vito bringing you guys a brand new Apex Legends video. In today's video, I thought I'd try something a little bit different and rank every gun in Apex Legends according to their iron sights. Obviously, care package weapons won't be making the list because of the fact that they come with some kind of optic already attached to them. And also, all of these weapons will be ranked from the default skins because some of the skins that have been released improve the iron sights on a handful of these weapons. And of course, all of this is just from my opinion. This is how I would rank all of the iron sights in this game. So if you think you would make a couple switches, or you think I got it pretty accurate, or even if you think I got all of them wrong, leave a comment and let me know what you think. I'm actually really curious. Also, if you're new to the channel, I'd really appreciate it if you guys would hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subs by the end of the year. And if you ever want to watch live, I stream every single day at midnight Eastern Standard Time. The link will be in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I love you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. Alright, so let's get this started. So let's just go from left to right. If I would have to rank where the 301 goes, I'd probably put this in B tier. It's actually super solid. I mean, the iron sight's not bad. You could definitely laser people from long range. Against some of the other sights, I think a lot more other sights would stack up on top of this one for it being an iron sight. For the 99, I'd honestly probably say I'd put the 99 at A, honestly. It's a little bit more open than the 301, and a lot of engagements that you get in with an R99, especially with it being an iron sight, are kind of close range, and it being a little bit more open, I feel like, I mean, I'm not really a fan of like the little circle iron sights, but I mean, in close range engagements, I mean, this thing is actually not bad at all. You could definitely laser people. Next up, we got the Alternator. For the Alternator, I would honestly say is S tier. This thing pretty much has a hollow on it for an iron sight. I mean, honestly, you can't really beat a weapon that has a holographic sight already built into it. A lot of these weapons do, but like I definitely would say the Alternator iron sight definitely does make S tier 100% for me, at least. Next up, we got the Mozambique. I'd probably put this in C. It's an absolutely awful iron sight in my opinion, but for it being a shotgun, it's not that bad. You only have 4 shots with it, so I mean, you don't really have to be spraying it around like a 301 or a 99 or an Alternator, you know what I mean? Okay, so now with a charge rifle, I'd honestly probably put this in B. No, I'm gonna put this in A. These iron sights are actually really not bad at all. I mean, like I said, it has a holographic sight. I mean, you can't really beat this. It's super wide open. Nothing's really blocking your view. So I would definitely put this in A tier. I don't think it makes it to S tier, just for me at least. For the Devo, I'm gonna put the Devo in C tier. It's so bulky. Once you start shooting this thing and it starts kicking up, you pretty much lost the entire target if your recoil control isn't where it needs to be. Your target would be literally under the entire gun. For the Eva is definitely going to D tier. These are probably one of the worst iron sights I've ever seen. This is literally just like a block, pretty much. This is why it's just more effective, honestly, just to hip fire the thing. Like, I never see anybody ADS with this thing. Maybe if you have a sight, possibly, but honestly, there's a reason that everybody hip fires this thing. These iron sights are absolutely terrible. For the flatline, I would say the flatline I would probably put in C tier. Definitely does not stack up against 301 for iron sights. It's just a little too crowded for me. You can't really see as much. Like, the 301's a lot more open, so this is definitely getting into the C tier. The G7 Scout is definitely 100% without a doubt D tier. I cannot hit a single shot with this weapon without a sight on it. Especially at long range, there's no way it's not happening. This thing is so crowded, and the kick that you get from this weapon, even it being semi, it just does not work. The Hemlock, I'm probably also gonna put in C tier. The iron sight on a Hemlock isn't actually that bad as far as like the reticle goes. Like I said with like the flatline, there's just too much stuff going around the actual reticle. There's just too much stuff going on. It's too crowded for me. Once you hit a burst, you kind of lose sight of your target. Now for the Hemlock, I'm definitely going to give the Hemlock B tier, right next to the 301, 100%. It's kind of just about as open as the 301, but it also has a holographic sight on it, so you could definitely laser people with this if you could control that recoil good enough. Now for a longbow, the longbow is definitely going to get a B tier too, only for the fact that it is super wide open. It being a semi-automatic, you could definitely definitely hit your shots with this thing. You could definitely line this stuff up. There's a lot of room around the reticle, so it is definitely easier to aim with. For the L-Star, I'm gonna say the same thing. It's super open. It has a holographic sight, or a holographic reticle, I guess you would want to say. It is super open. There's not much going on. It's definitely easier to aim with, and you can see around the weapon. So yeah, the L-Star is definitely gonna make it into B tier for me 100%. For the Mastiff, is gonna get A tier for me. Just for the fact that it is a little more crowded, but you also have to consider that it's a shotgun. Most of the engagements that you're gonna be using this in are right next to your face. It's really not gonna matter if you have a sight on it or not. And on top of it being a short range weapon, it still has a holographic sight on top of that. The P2020 for me is gonna get C tier. It's kind of like the Mozambique for me. Like, you don't usually use these two weapons unless it's like on drop or unless you find hammer points, and most of the time you're using them without a sight. And it being a semi-automatic, and on top of it there's not too much kick, and you can absolutely laser somebody with this thing without a sight on it to begin with. Now moving on to another pistol, the 45 is definitely getting A tier for this one. This sight is absolutely fantastic. It is super wide open. It has a holographic sight on it. It's not making quite up to S tier for me, but you guys will see why it's not going to be making S tier. There's definitely a few other weapons on the list that are definitely a little bit better than this iron sight, so I'm just going to knock it down to A tier. The Sentinel is going to get C tier, only for the fact that there's a lot going on around it. I know it's a bolt action, but like compared to another sniper like the longbow, it has a lot more stuff going on. It's really crowded compared to something like the longbow. I know it's bolt action, so you have a lot more time to, you know, correct your aim and line up a shot, but it just has a lot more going on than the longbow. So I'm gonna knock it down to a tier under the longbow. The longbow iron sights really aren't that bad. Now the Spitfire is definitely going into D tier. These iron sights for the Spitfire are absolutely horrible. There is so much stuff going on in here. I don't even understand how people see what you're shooting at most of the time when you're shooting. This thing is pretty much like a worse Hemlock. The iron sights on these two things are honestly almost identical. It's just the Spitfire has more stuff going on and it clutters your screen a lot more. I would definitely put this one in D tier. Now the triple take is 100% without a doubt going to S tier. The triple take has probably the best iron sight in the entire game. This iron sight is absolutely wide open. There's nothing in your way of lining up your shot. It's legitimately just a holographic reticle in the middle of the sight. Without a doubt, definitely the best iron sight in the game. This thing is absolutely incredible. Now, next up, we have a Volt, and I'm also going to put the Volt up into the S tier. This is definitely one of the best iron sights in the game. Super easy to see, has an absolutely fantastic holographic sight on it. The 45 almost beats the Volt, but I just like that the Volt is a lot more open than the 45. I just don't really like these little iron sights on the side here around the actual reticle itself. This thing is an absolute laser. And last up, we have the Wingman, and I think I'm gonna put the Wingman in A tier just for the fact that it's pretty much the same thing as the 45. It doesn't quite beat the Volt for me. It doesn't, and nothing will ever beat the triple take for me. This is absolutely the most fire iron sight on any weapon in this game, and it doesn't quite beat the Alternator for me because, like I said before, the Alternator is pretty much like putting a hollow as an iron sight. I mean, this thing is, it's literally just a dot. You can't really beat that. It has nothing else going on around it. It's absolutely wide open, almost as much as the triple take. All of these weapons are absolutely amazing with their iron sights. You don't even really need to put a sight on them, to be honest. If I were to move anything, I'd probably put the 99 down to B tier, but in my opinion, the 99 still stacks above all of these iron sights. So I think I'm happy with this. This is definitely where I think the iron sights definitely fit into the game. But again, let me know what you guys think. If you think I got something wrong or you think you would change something, let me know in the comments. I'd really love to hear what you guys think. And also, if you guys want to see another one of these, let me know. Drop a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't yet, I'd really appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button. About 50% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed, so if you're one of those people, take that quick second really quickly and hit that subscribe button. I really would absolutely appreciate it. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.